In this part, let's talk a little about the so-called white German Shepherd dogs, or white Swiss Shepherd dogs, which were adopted by the FCI under the name of Berger Blanc Suisse. Who are these dogs and where do they come from? What do they have in common with the German Shepherds and what are the differences? Are we talking about a German, an American, or a Swiss breed? In the following, we will explore these questions, and we will also try to figure out who should choose them, and who should choose the German Shepherd dogs instead. The first and most interesting question is, where do these beautiful, German Shepherd-like, snow-white dogs really come from? What modern sinology knows about their origins is as follows. What is a well-known fact is that the German Shepherd dog, or Deutscher Schäferhund, was consciously formed in Germany in the last decades of the 19th century, primarily for service dog purposes. The program was invented and his forefather was Captain Max von Stephanitz, who actually dedicated his life to the formation, breeding and recognition of this dog breed. What is much less well known, on the other hand, is that white was not uncommon in the early German Shepherd lines, which, like in the case of German Boxers, is attributed to the presence of a recessive gene. The white version was also quite widespread in Germany at first in the 1880s, and even in the first decades of the 20th century they dealt with their breeding. Interest in them decreased significantly in Germany after the finalized German Shepherd standard finally excluded and banned this color version among German Shepherds. In the meantime, however, especially after the First World War, many specimens were introduced to the United States and England, where these beautiful, snow-white dogs became popular, although they were not widely well known. In 1967, an event that changed the lives of these dogs occurred, namely, a breeder, named Agatha Birch imported several specimens from America and England to Switzerland, where she began conscious breeding, yet under the name of Swiss White German Shepherd Dog. Since these dogs were not recognized as German Shepherds in Switzerland, they changed their name after a while to a Swiss White Shepherd Dog, or Berger Blanc Suisse. This dog was finally recognized as an independent breed by the FCI in 2011 and by the English Kennel Club 5 years ago, in 2017. The second and equally exciting question is whether there are differences between the German Shepherd dogs, who are usually considered to be one of the kings of service dogs, and the white Swiss Shepherd dogs, and if so, what exactly these differences are. In the public, it is commonly said that the two breeds really differ only in color, and in everything else they are the same, but the situation is not so simple. Let us first look at the differences in appearance, which, in addition to the color, are really minimal. While the German Shepherd standard determines the height of males at 60 to 65 centimeters, and that of the bitches 55 to 60 centimeters, for the Swiss relative the same values range from 58 to 66 and to 53 to 61 centimeters. In weight values, the weight of the males are classified as between 30 to 40 kilograms for both breeds. In the case of bitches, the Swiss standard is more permissive, 25 to 35 kilograms, compared to 22 to 32 kilograms in case of German Shepherds. In addition to the hair color, the two factors that are perhaps more visible to a less experienced eye are, on the one hand, the rear angles, in which the German standard allows for more and larger angling, opposed to the Swiss one, where the straight back is more desirable. The other clearly visible difference is pigmentation, where the German Shepherd standard is more permissive, whereas in the case of the Swiss Shepherd dog only black pigmentation is accepted. And what about the temperament and the character? With regard to both breeds, it is safe to say that they are among the most intelligent and easy-learning specimens of the dog world, and there is no real difference between them. The German Shepherd is one of the most commonly used service dog breeds in armed forces worldwide, which, in addition to its excellent abilities, has two main reasons. One of these is its special hair structure, as a result of which it can be used in almost all weather conditions from the North Pole to the tropical rainforests, and the other is the peculiarity of its personality, that it tolerates the change of owners without any particular problems, and the situation as well, when they are handled by several dog handlers, which is a huge advantage within armed corps, like in the police. In contrast, the Swiss White Shepherd, partly because of its color and partly because of its rarity, is not at all typical as a service dog anywhere in the world. According to the descriptions, their character is also softer and smoother than that of the German Shepherd and much more family-centered than his distant German brother. In the Americas and Switzerland, there are also examples for their use as therapy dogs. In conclusion, if someone likes German Shepherds, or wants to choose a dog with a German Shepherd-like character for himself, both breeds, which are actually relatives of common ancestors, can be an ideal choice. Both types have hyper-intelligent, active, strong personal and territorial guarding instincts that make them ideal for both person and territory protection. If you are motivated more by tough dog sports, guard work and property protection in choosing a dog, perhaps it is better for you to orient yourself towards the more severe German brother, the German Shepherd, in whom you will find an ideal companion for these activities. However, if, in addition to the guarding skills, it is just as important to insert a dog into a family environment without any problems, if you live with underage children, and have less emphasis on the sports dog range, and perhaps, it is important for you that you have a dog, which is different from the average, well, in this case it is perhaps more worthwhile to choose the more prestigiously named Burger Blanc Suisse, or differently, the Swiss White Shepherd dog.